Hello, this is Eileen, the environmental educator, and in this video, we're going to talk about somebody who's been pretty quiet lately, but has resurfaced, and that is oh, I don't know if you can recognize her there because yeah, we don't really see her smiling. So yeah, we're going to be talking about Greta. I'm sure you can recognize her from this picture. That looks a little bit more like what we're accustomed to, but she's smiling today. Um, she's advanced, I guess. She is now not just a at 12 she was before when she knew everything in the world about the environment. Now she's an expert in the economy. Greta is there's a bunch of headlines here. Yes, we have to overthrow the whole capitalist system. And now she's making headlines because she's not going to COP27, which is, you know, she's going to skip the Greenwashing Climate Summit because, as she says in one of these articles, these are the people that have created this system. And so, in order to address the climate, address the environment, we have to take away free market capitalism. Yeah, the whole capitalism system. Now the thing is a little Miss Smarty Pants here. Apparently knows as little about the capitalist system as she does about what we need to do to solve our environmental problems, and not just if global warming is real or not. If you've been around here, you've seen this. These are the solutions the world needs that no one has allowed since November 93, including most recently Greta. But she doesn't have solutions, and she doesn't really know much about the environment, and she doesn't really know much about the capitalist system because we have to give it a capitalism. Except at least here in America, capitalism hasn't existed for a long time. Okay, there is nothing of America that exists anymore. Americans, you know, are oblivious to the fact that America does not exist. I've been telling people for 10, 15 years we're a full on communist country. They just haven't locked down the Iron Curtain. They're locking it down now. And capitalism went out a long time ago. There's nothing of the capitalist system. I mean, all of the what do they call them? Yeah, migrants. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, they're economic war soldiers against America. What we have in America is a government subsidized sweatshop, is what we do, essentially. Either we're allowed to offshore all what used to be good American jobs, or bring the third world here to take the jobs that are left. And, if you're somebody that still has a good job, either probably you're in the medical field, you work for the government, like all communist countries. The only good jobs communist countries are the government, whether it's the town, the county, the state, or the federal. Those are the only real good jobs in America, with the exception of maybe a couple of, not, not a couple, but uh, a small percentage of what used to be American companies that still, operate to um, salaries and wages and raises and insurance and benefits, and the way we used to be when we were a capitalist country, but we're not anymore. There's nothing close to it, and capitalism isn't going to solve our environmental problems, just like neither is the greenwashing Greta, who has been preventing the solutions the world needs for years now. I forget the exact date, but you know, today she posted on Twitter, we need a loss and damage finance facility. We need climate justice. We need action. Oh, time is running out. Hasn't she been saying that? Yeah, which is why decision makers need to step up. at the conference she's not going to, and the youth, children and youth. What do you want to say to world leaders? Well, this is what I said to Greta. I'm like, greenwashing Greta, stop preventing solutions, you global fraud. And I posted this video. She didn't get a Nobel because she's a preventing solutions fraud, and that is the truth. And that's just Greta. She she's pretty scary, but she still gets press when she puts herself out there. Some people have said that the powers that are have tossed her aside, but maybe that's why she's not at COP27. But she, although she criticizes the biggest climate conference in the world and called it a form of greenwashing. Greta here, the global solutions fraud, preventing solutions fraud, is a greenwasher herself. And yeah, she said that she's not going to COP27, but the space for civil society this year is extremely limited. I don't even know if she knows what she means by civil society. She says cops are mainly used as an opportunity for leaders and people in power to get attention using many different forms of greenwashing, which is, exactly in Greta's playbook. She attended her first COP in 2019. She was just 16, so she's 19 now. Yeah, she became an outspoken critic, well, we all know, and she called the summit a failure. Well, you know what? Greta has a global microphone. She has every ability to, well, actually, she probably doesn't, because if she actually went out there and talked about solutions, she wouldn't get pressed, right? So, but she could get it out to her audience, even if it was in emails, like, hey, kids, there really is solutions. I don't just have to scream here with no solutions and pretend like I'm seeking them. I can actually give them to you, but she won't. But she said, the COP, just like Greta, is not really meant to change the whole system, noting instead of pushing radical change, it encourages gradual progress. Well, the only progress that the environment has had, according to every global report that all of these experts, constantly um, publish and refer to, is hugely negative. Every year, things are getting worse, even faster than expected. I mean, that's been going on for decades. Okay, so there is nothing but negative gradual progress. She says the cops aren't really working unless, of course, we use them as an opportunity to mobilize, which Greta has refused to do for years. So, um, here she is. We need, in order to change things, we need everyone, billions of activists. We don't need a single activist. Activists are idiots. They're people who don't have solutions, who go out and demand that other people be the solution. Okay, what we need is billions of environmentally illiterate people who live responsibly and don't, use disposable, and somebody like Greta, provides leadership by example, and we leave a hemp-filled society. There's not a whole lot to it, Greta. But Greta just won't. She called the left-wing opposition leader in the UK, has called her protest arrogant and wrong. Well, she is. I thought that was saying she called somebody arrogant, but she and protesters are. They have no solutions. Activists are idiots. We don't need a single activist. There's a gazillion activists all over this planet, and not one of them really does any good. So this same article was run here in Yahoo. There's some more articles here. So here on the European Council for an Energy Efficient Economy, you know what? It's always just energy efficient. No, you know what? We just responsible. Nobody talks about our disposable society. Nobody talks about hemp. Nobody talks about people just living responsibly every day in their lives, just energy, just the grid, but right here um Greta, Greta on the climate delusion, which is her. We've been greenwashed out of our senses. It's time to stand our ground. I mean, she's such a fool. She has no ground to stand because she has no solutions. But now it's capitalism. It's the doom goblin, as this article calls her on the Daily Skeptic. That's pretty funny, the doom goblin. But yeah, so she just put out a new book, the climate book, and where she announced her far left political manifesto. So so now we have to listen to Greta being, an economic expert. And her message is more radical and more militant than it's been in the past. There's no back to normal, she said. Normal was the system which gave us the climate crisis, a system of colonialism, imperialism, oppression, genocide, of racist, oppressive extractionism. I mean, that's I don't even know if she really even knows what these words mean. I just don't even. It's just funny. Climate justice is part of all justice. You can't have one without the other. We can't trust the elites produced by this system to confront its flaws. So that's why she won't be bothering with the COP meeting. Yes, because the elites were produced by the system, and so it won't confront its flaws. And what Greta really doesn't realize is the elites weren't produced by the system. Uh, you know, the the elites produced the system, and the system doesn't have its flaws. The flaws that are happening in society today are intentional. They are the design. And the elite produced that design. They didn't become elite because of the system. No, they really were already elite, and they have created this system that meets its goals, and they're not flaws. This isn't by accident, all of the bad things that are happening. It's by design and intent. And so now we're listening to somebody who has a global microphone who, along with everything else she doesn't have figured out, doesn't have this figured out. And the this article here, The Unheard by Nicholas Harris, so she was at London's Royal Festival Hall and hosted a children's crusade, and it talks about her book and what she's going to be doing now. But it says it ends with her 20s look set to be look set to be far more explosive and even revolutionary. Now that's pretty scary because she's what, a revolutionist without a cause. She's just gonna make things worse. Climate justice. It's ridiculous. What we need is solutions that she won't use her voice to give you. And so I remind her of that in an email tonight, along with Alex Jones and Infowars, who will, criticize this girl and yap about global warming is not real and the tyranny that's coming down because of the elite and the system they put in place to lock us down based on we don't have solutions. And, but Infowars Alex Jones will not tell you that, wow, there really are solutions that are just sensible, that even Alex says he's about a sustainable world, but he won't give it to you. Okay. And, then our friends over at Project Veritas who just hate truth, won't give you environmental truth, don't care about environmental tyranny, even though they say about medical tyranny they have to save the country from it, but not environmental tyranny. And CBS, because they did a 60-minute special on her, but I told Greta to get on solutions or give it a rest, stop your greenwashing. I'm like, we've been through this for a long time. I tell her to get on the solutions, but what is Greta's reply to that? Okay, let me see.
How dare you!
Yeah, yeah, exactly, Greta. How dare you?
How dare you!
You know? But there we are. That's the girl that we recognize. Just yeah, the sour puss, not the revolutionist that she's going to become, who's all smiling about it. But this is what her Thunberg self is about these days. She's still got her global microphone and still not doing any good, but still has an army of worshippers who need to be made aware of her greenwashing and her fraudulent voice. But the people that are in business to tell you the truth, I could have put a gazillion more news on here. Just the big ones here, they won't. So stay tuned, people.